Okay, witajcie wszyscy. We are back again. All the noises are happening. You got the washer on, the dryer on, and the HVAC kicks on every once in a while. So it's perfect environment to record a video. The only reason I wanted to even do it is because I have this DX50 out. I have another DX50 CPU, and even at 720p, I think from even that distance you can tell that something is very, where am I aiming? Very, very wrong with the CPU. I got it from a friend who got it from, I think, a recycler's, and I think they compressed it so that they can put more CPUs in a jar because they were, I don't know if it works. We'll find out. I mean, we'll find out if I can successfully bend all these 178 pins. So let's try to do that. The tools I'll be using are a magnifying glass. We have forceps, angled forceps. I don't know why that's here. This, an IO shield, I find it very nice for when you get them rough and straight. You put them in there like that and you just bend them all. You do that. It's kind of like you're doing it row by row. I've been doing that for years. The knife is just a little more precise version of that. A couple of needle noses. I don't think we'll be using this. And an individual pick. So let's just get started. I mean, if I break a pin, I guess we can continue. It might be a redundant ground pin. If it's an address line, this goes on my wall for collection. If it's address or data, then it breaks it, right? But if it's a redundant ground or something, then we'll see. And if I feel pretty confident, I will put it in the 486. So let's start. Let's just get all the top ones off first. Anything, this is a mess. I think, let me just see, because if there's one that's missing, I'll just stop the video there. No, they're all there. It looks like they went around it like that. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Okay. You know what? I wonder. No, that'll require too much of a setup. I have a magnifying station there, but I don't have it hooked up. All right, well, that's fine. We'll just get these out pin by pin, I suppose, and just very gently ease these out. Like if this was in the 90s, I could see somebody like taking 2 hours out of their day to like super carefully bend these back, because this is a DX50 CPU. I mean, I'd do this for a DX250. I don't really, just out of sheer curiosity, but the DX50 was the one that runs at a 50 megahertz bus, which I've got under here. And yeah, it's a rare bird because it was super expensive, and then the DX266 came out, not like right afterwards, but soon afterwards, and then everybody was like, well, I want that. And apparently, I remember this from when I was working in a computer store in the 90s, these were really hard to make work with VESA. I have had 2 of these machines in my life. One of them is right underneath me. And one I bought just for the hell of it when I was, 15, 16. They weren't new back then, so no, I wasn't spoiled or anything. I just worked at a computer store and spent all my money there because I'm a nerd. But I got one just to, dick around with. And yeah, it had VESA in it, and I remember running the VESA cards at full 50 megahertz and having no problems whatsoever playing Star Control 2 for, months on it. Windows worked just fine as well. So yeah, and then this is my second one. I'm sure I've encountered them in the wild before, but my own, I've only ever had 2. And they were pretty reliable. Yeah, that one's kind of like under that one, so I gotta get these 2 first. Okay, they were fairly reliable, and they were about, depending on the benchmarks you ran, like within 10% of a DX266, because yeah, that's pretty close actually. And I mean, if you had a really crappily configured DX266, like with no cache or whatever, and just a crappy chipset support, then you had a half decent, 46 DX250 or DX50, they would be comparable, and the DX would actually be able to beat it. I mean, clock for clock, though, the DX266 was faster, but not by much. But the apparent issues with finding working VLB cards with it. Apparently, they wouldn't time properly, and it would just be kind of a shit show. All right, some of these are rising back up now. So yeah, so that's what. Yeah, we're just gonna slowly bend all these pins back. So far, so good. I'm encountering a lot of resistance, which is good. That means these pins still have some, I guess, pliability in them. Although I'm going to say that, and on my fifth last pin, I'm just going to snap it off, and it will be an address line, and I'll be mad. Actually, I won't be mad. It was whatever. I'll just throw it on my wall for collection. In any case, yeah. So that's what we're going to do here. Excuse the mess. I went through a flurry of building computers lately. I built a 386. Well, I repaired and replaced them. Well, I guess I built them in some ways. Got a 386 SX 16, a nice AT&T case. And after that, I built a 486 DX280 with PCI. It's a nice little machine. That one I had to do quite a bit of work to. The case was all sorts of messed up. It had these weird holes in it on the top of the case with standoffs, and the Molex was hanging at the back. It had no hard drive in it, and it wasn't configured for a hard drive, so I don't think somebody just removed it. It said Museum A on the front of it, and it had a diskette in it, this one. I'm going to go upstairs and scan it for viruses first, and then see what's on it. Maybe it's some boot program. So that one is an interesting build. That one needed a lot of work too, because it was there was holes in it, and that was bent and twisted. Okay. Just we're making some progress here. Those are up now. If I could describe this as anything, it would be tedious. Although it looks like if they all go this way, I think this might have a chance. I'm really worried about that one right there. So I have to get this one off first. Switch to these. And I don't know why somebody would do this. I surmise it's to fit more of them into a spot or something. But yeah, I don't know. Just put another one in it like this, the same thing, and you won't have to. I mean, I guess they don't care. They're after the raw materials here. Yeah, this one I'm worried about here. This one I'm worried about, so I'm going to be super careful with it. And then after that 486, the DX280, I put together a Pentium 120, which that one had a lot of interesting content on it. I remember being 12 and 13. Yeah, there was a lot of porn on it. I mean, nothing illegal. It wasn't CP or anything on it, but it was kind of all over the drive. And it was kind of sad because it had a picture of Timon in the background and all these Roger Rabbit, Reader Rabbit. I got the CD for it there. It was in the tray. I think it's not sad. It's probably they started using it as kids, and then the kids grew up, and then that's what kids do. They look for naked pictures. There's a picture of Ricky Martin naked there. It was okay, that's interesting. And I don't know. I don't want to really describe it in case I'm never gonna. This isn't gonna get monetized ever, but yeah, whatever. There was just stuff on that hard drive that I was all right, you know what? Let's just format it. Let's just format it and go from there. And in the formatting process, the hard drive took a crap. Died. So, yeah. Good thing I didn't reuse that. So that one was fun. And then the last one was it started off as a seller on 366. I was going to swap it out for that Pentium 150 that came out of that 46 case that I was making. But I decided everything's already in there. I'll just leave it. And then, a happy accident, I found a Pentium 2 350 CPU. So I got that Celeron out of there. Put in 350. Configured that. That works. That one was kind of a pain in the ass because it was, there were not a VIA board, but it was a PC chips, all in one kind of boards. So these last ones here are going to require some extra help. Not yet. I think these are going to be easy. You just stand up each row. But I think in the corner here, something happened. The corner was there. This one. Oh, I have a long ways to go. I mean, if this was a DX33 or whatever SX33, I wouldn't even bother. It would have just stayed at the recyclers. But even if I break one of these pins or multiple, if I break one, I'm just going to stop there. Depending on what it is, I might look up what it is. But yeah, even if I screw this up, I have another one of these CPUs in my shadow box collection that works. So this is just going to replace that one if that happens. But let's see if I can save it. So I'm always up for a challenge. I really should be working on my master's programming right now, which is, I guess, what I'll do this afternoon. Some of these are bent on multiple degrees. Like it was twisted in and then out, and then also, laterally. So, yay. Let's see if it works. Yeah, no special tools really required here. You can just do this with tweezers, some scissors. A kitchen knife works too, to roll them out. A butter knife. That's why I used that in the past before I figured I could just use this rail. Wow, this is tedious. Whoa. That one went up with a little bit of speed. I don't think I like that. The other thing I'm worried about is even if I get these all straight, do I want to risk putting it in the computer and then having the leg break off in the socket? Because that would suck. Listen to the old dryer make a bunch of noise now. Such a zen sound. Worthy of meditation. Over. Oh, did I break one? No. Just kind of snapped straight up. How many of these pins are there actually on here? I think the 386 had over 100. This one's probably got like 150 or something. I don't even know. Oh, let's do some quick math. 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 times 4. What is that? 34 times 2 is 68. So 68 on the outside row, and I'll take 1 off of each, so that's going to be 16 times 4. Okay, what number are we at? 68. and 16, 32. It's 96 and another 32. 828, and then another row of 15. 100, so that'd be 15, 30, 60, 168. I mean, I might be off by a bit, but 170 pins. Nice. Nice. It's like 2 seconds to bend them all downwards. I say this is, I mean, we'll see if it works. Okay, I think at this point I have to start here because they're all kind of like where am I? Waving down this way. So we got some of them up. Some of them are still crushed. No. Okiem elektroniki. Nice. Dzień dobry z Kanady. Znaczy, jest wieczór tam macie? Wieczór macie, yeah. It's about 5 o'clock in Poland there now, so. What time is it here? 1. Maybe about 6 or 7 over there. We're getting DST. Oh, wait, we're getting DST tonight, I think. Yeah, we are. We're going to move an hour backwards. Forwards. Forwards? Yes, there'll be more daylight. I don't even know why the hell they're still doing that. Like, just leave the time alone. I don't want the sun to set at 4 p.m. on like the middle of December or January. Oh, that one's really loose. Oh, that one's really, really, really loose. Okay, so let's not harass it too much. Oh, we can do 3 at a time using this method. Interesting. Let's do that. I think if we just pre-lift them first, I'm gonna stab myself. O, 18:40, okej, no. So, to już wieczór, słońca tam nie ma pewnie, co? Ekran mam z boku, muszę się cały czas do niego odwracać. No dobra, okej, progres taki wygląda. We're getting some of them. Niektóre. So I'm curious to see. These ones are getting up a little bit easier. Style trochę łatwiej because they're in a pattern. This die size is pretty small too. I have another 46 kicking around here. The 33s, the cap is, this might have been on a different micron fab, or whatever micron, the scale of the. Not the scale, but yeah, I'm saying the manufacturing process. That's it. Yeah, so we're getting there. We're about a little more than halfway. And then I have to correct each row and thing. Yeah, this is the worst I've ever seen in my life. I've seen some that were like halfway smashed. Uh-oh, that one loose. Okay, no. It would be a shame if something broke now. They are rising. So yeah, we are getting it done. Okay, now this is where it gets tricky. What order do I have to do? Probably from the back up. Okay. Probably get these three. Yeah. Maybe even that fourth one all at the same time. Okay, alright, that's up. That sounded great. Snap. That's probably the tweezers snapping into each other. Hey, these corners are the worst. I would not be doing this on a Pentium 4. Actually, that reminds me. One time I needed one of my Pentium 4 chips for an experiment that was in the shadow box, but I had glue gunned it to the back. So I said, okay, I'll throw it on an oven, like on a burner. Just throw the CPU upside down and just wait till that stuff melts away. Well, I forgot how hot an oven can get, or a burner, and I left for like a minute. When I came back, I'm like, oh, all the glue is melted. Perfect. So I go to take the glue off. All the legs came off. So I turned the PGA into whatever, the other one. The one that the pins are in the socket. Every leg came off. I'm like, well, that sucks. Because I think they soldered them on. These are somehow part of the... All right. Well, okay. We're about 3/4 of the way there. Let's have a look at an update here. So that's... You've got to get these ones still. So let's see if we can. See if we can. See if we can't. And then, of course, I have to do the row by row straightening. So all we've done is pick these up for now. Okay, let's just concentrate on getting them up. I think this one looks a little bit better. Okay. I think I found a nice method. Get under them all. Push down real hard and lift. The last row kind of suffers because they're kind of splattering out this way. I think we can get that in the next pass. So yeah. Let's see what's going on. If anybody's joining us now, we are moving the pins up from a CPU that looks like it was stomped on or something. Maybe like it was a cash for clunkers deal. It's like, no one can have this engine. Put sand in it. Okay. This is where things get ugly. Okay, so I have to lift up those two from the row first. Okay. And then that one can come with it. Nice. Let's straighten some of these out. Okay, mostly up, just this one corner that's left. This is why I left it for last. Okay, I have to keep coming in from here. Wow, these are... One at a time with these ones. Yeah, this one's bent on 2 different axes. I mean, it's up, but alright, almost got them all. This is the one that's on 2 axes, okay. Is my child going to come down and say hi? Alright. Update. We're getting there, we're getting there. Not commenting as much now because I need to concentrate. It would suck if something broke now. And this is the hardest part. I left for last, obviously, leave the hardest for last. Should have just started with this. But yeah, I felt like making progress, even perceived progress. I was just installing something on a 386, a game. It has 109 files to load off a floppy. Bridge, a Grand Slam Bridge by Electronic Arts. And the game I had when I was a kid. It's on the same floppy diskette that I had when I was a kid. Like, literally, that's how it worked. And it worked every time. So I didn't even bother ever making a backup copy of it, which I probably should do. And it's a pretty cool game. It's Bridge, I mean, whatever. Okay, this one is bent in over itself, down and around. That's pin 1, so I cannot break this one, but I think this is VCC. I mean, even if I broke it, I suppose I could solder it. I would stop there, though. I'd be like, you know what, good enough. But, yeah. I kind of remember doing that. Yes, I remember this. I had a Pentium 3, and I broke several legs off. One was an address line. So it was a Pentium 3... 800 or 933, my second Pentium 3, and that's what happened there. Yeah, I broke a pin off, several. 2 were redundant grounds, so didn't care. 1 was a data line, I think, and I fixed it by very, very carefully attaching. I think I actually pulled a pin off of a 486 or a Pentium or something. It might have been a Pentium 1, which at the time were worth nothing, and I had a stack of them. I pulled a redundant ground leg off of one of those and carefully resoldered it and stuck it in the board, and that chip never came out of there again. It worked, and it just stayed in there. The computer was sold that way, or scrapped. I don't think I even saw it. I just scrapped it. I had it for a while. No, I think I gave it to my cousin. I just told him, don't upgrade the CPU. Like, I mean, 933 is good enough. It was like, all right, cool. Okay, we are nearing the stages of every pin every pin is up now. It's not lying down. But, well, there's a couple in here still that I'm struggling with, is the angles at which they're... Okay, let's try that one first. Okay. So, 3 more to go. Well, 3 more to go. 168 more to go after this to make sure that they're in line and straight. Oh, okay. It's counterproductive. This is where it gets a bit tricky. I have to stand some of these up properly. So I'm just using the ISA, whatever, the IO cover plate to get one row out and just kind of make them all stand up properly, because I need to get some tweezers in between 2 rows so I can stand them up, because they're not. This is too big. What other tool works for this? Dental tools. I don't know if they'll give it to you post-COVID, but pre-COVID, I asked my dentist, what do you do with all your tools that you can't use anymore? For like scraping and picking and all that. She's like, well, we wash them as often as we can, and then when they just lose their, I don't know, they get dull or whatever, just throw them out. So, can I have some? She's like, you're not going to do your own dental work, are you? There was a bit of a history there with that. I don't know. But yeah, I said, no. I just need it for like very fine computer work, like straightening things. And she said, yeah, go ahead, have some. Okay, so in my rush to get them up, I pushed these ones down a bit. But yeah, essentially, that's their update now. None of them are lying down. It looks horrific still, but now it's, see, this first row is a bit straight because I did it with the IO tool. So, all right, half an hour of making them up. So now, just row by row like this. Just get each one. Get it more or less in line. Because there's another trick I'll show you later. Get them. So yeah, nothing broke so far. This tool is actually pretty good. Does that one have a narrower head? No. Okay. So this tool is pretty good for this kind of stuff. You just gotta be careful with. This is good for grasping them and straightening them out if it's bent on a couple axes. You just squeeze it, you know what I mean? It'll straighten it right out like that. So that's gonna have to happen, several times. Like here. That one is pretty bent. I know, 720p, I'm sorry. I'll get better equipment one day. I'm not Adrian Black, though. His layouts are awesome. Especially when he does the circuit troubleshooting, and there's like the screen is split into 4 different things. And maybe I'll get a scope one day too. We'll see. I think it's to the point where now, if I'm spending time to do component level repair, because I don't throw out motherboards. I have a stack of them that presumably have problems with the address lines. And I've used a scope before, a long time ago, when I was a tech at HP. Actually, I was doing co-op at HP. So I know how to use them. And yeah, just watching those Adrian Black videos, it's like, you know what? I'm trying to hand it that. But these still are pretty mangled, though. At least they're getting somewhere. This is probably going to be more fun than watching paint dry, but not by much. But I decided to do it live. So this might take 2 hours. I don't know. I'm just curious to see if it'll work. So if you're watching this from a replay perspective, just skip to the end and see if I'm cussing or if I'm going to open a beer. Or eat some sushi, apparently. I don't know what we're having for dinner, lunch. All right. I wish I had a. You know what? I do. I have a garbage board I can put this in first. Aha. Because I don't want to put it physically in here. I want to test it first. So yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. It's just an extremely tedious manual process. And I could see somebody trying to save this chip in the 90s because this was like $600 chip or however much it cost back then. Probably more than that. No, just the chip. Wouldn't have been too much. So see, I got them up, but the third row is kind of crooked. So we're going to take a closer look at that. going to be increasingly difficult to get to these. Oh, pin broke off. I knew that was going to happen. Okay, let's see what I broke. That one was mangled and it was underneath other ones. So let's let me just do a quick check here. What did I break, and is it worth fixing? Or is it worth keep going, I guess? Keep on going. Okay, 486 pin out. Okay, can I see the pinout, please? Alright, why can't I open this image? Please just let me view the image. Pin side view. Diagram of 486 processor. Okay, so that's pin 1. I guys can't see this, but what did I break? Address line 17. Ah, we're done. So, yeah, whatever. You know what? I'm going to straighten them out anyways, because I want this to fit into my shadow board, like the shadow box that I have. So I'm just going to rail through them like this. This is how I usually fix mildly bent pins. I mean, there's no sense in trying to, I'm not even going to bother putting this in, because if I put this in the computer and another pin breaks out in the board on this machine, I will flip, because this is a good board. And it's a hard board to find. So yeah, so that's pretty much the end of that. I could be a little rough with it now. So yeah, what I usually do for pins that aren't too badly bent, I just kind of comb through them like this, get them to stand up, and then go. Oh, one of them lied back down again. Actually, I'm wondering if I could just solder something back into that. I don't know. I'm not doing it live, but I might just put this on the shelf and see. Let me just see if any more of these fall out. Yeah, that one at the edge is very. Actually, I can already see the base crack of the base. The base of the pin is like ready to fall out. So yeah, I think the safe way to, you know what I could do? I could get, oh, I know how I could fix this. I'll do another video, I think. I will get one of those socket adapters, because I know that my VRM has one of these. You put it into another socket, like a socket, I don't know, I think it's called PGA 168, I think that's what it's actually called. And that way, I can solder to it a leg that goes up, and then it just that'd be cold. That'd be a cold contact. But yeah, I think I could figure this out, because I'm interested to see if this will actually work. But it'll be for another day, probably in months from now. I got no time to do this shit. The only reason I did it today is because I have a 46 DX50 right underneath me here. So yeah. But yeah, several iterations of now it's to the point where you could just use the I/O shield and get them more or less straight. I mean, they're not perfect, but I'm not aiming for perfection here. I'm aiming for just make them straight enough. All still lying down. Well, not lying down, but they're tilted. They're Chernobyl trees, I guess. And they get hit by the blast. Oh, they didn't get hit by any blast. Never mind. I'm thinking about those nuclear atomic tests, obviously. Those atomic bomb tests. The trees just like fly one way and then they get pulled back the other way by the vacuum. Anyways, well, I will chalk this up as perhaps not a failure, but a setback. A setback indeed. I mean, I got this far. I mean, it's pretty bad still. Or I can get my fingernails in there. Maybe. I had a feeling that one would go too. It moved too easily. What's that called? Not thermal fatigue, but metal fatigue from moving it back and forth too much. Thermal fatigue. Anyway. We will see if I can't still salvage it. Yeah, so this is how I'm going to leave it for now. Let me get my feet back up here. Yeah, not ideal, but you can at least stick the I/O bracket through each row now. And as you're doing that, you can see, well, some of them are worse than others. Like this one here, maybe I'll push up on it like that. Yeah, see, so this is usually when I get bent pins. This is usually what I do, and this is short work now. Like this is not hard to do. You just push up on them, and sometimes you can push another one down into it, and just like compress them and slide them through. So this isn't the end of the world. It looks better than it did, but it's still. If I ever review this, see, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, considering what I started with. So if I ever do continue this project or this challenge, I suppose, yeah, I'm just gonna buy a 46 PGA socket and solder another leg onto that address line, because at least it's off to the side there, and I can fix that. I can put a. I think I have a finer tip than that. I have just some tweezers. I could do this. I could do this, just not now, because I don't have the PGA, so there's no sense in even trying. But that's what I'll do. I will order a PGA. We will revisit this, because now, whoops, did I break another one? Because now the rows are. I'm just tempted to just finish off straightening them up, but some of them are bad. Like the ones that had see this. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Like this row is particularly bad. What you can see, right? And it's not just that they're bent one way; they're bent on two axes, and that's when the problems really start. See, like these ones were. You got to put that in there and squeeze. You can't squeeze too hard. You just have to squeeze hard enough. It's a game that I apparently lost just now. Because, yeah, I need slightly finer. Yeah, so that's, maybe if I push it off to the side a little bit. How's the other row? The row behind it is just as bad, and that's not going to be easy to fix. I wonder if I could just do two at once. That'd actually be easier, just do two rows at once. Okay, anyways, yeah, it's possible. Okay, I'm going to put that right here. Somewhere. Right there. And, yeah. I will continue this challenge. I will see if I can get that CPU working again. So, as a quick recap, these were smashed down completely. Crushed. And this is what I got from it so far. Oh, hello, I'm actually just about to end the stream. But anyways, look at the start of it and you'll see what it looks like. Yeah, and basically I've bent all of them up, but address line 17 there is snapped off. So recap, okay, it's not bad. Looks nice on this one. It's a DX50. If this was a DX33, it would go right back into the garbage. And what we're going to do next time is solder, straighten them. Off cam, I'm going to straighten them all out so that it's nice. And then I'm going to solder back in the address line, which is here. Put that in a PGA slot, put that into this computer if I still have this computer. If not, I could put it into any computer. It doesn't matter because it'll just run at half the clock speed. So that is it. Do widzenia, dobranoc wherever you are. And thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time.